Hey everybody, it's Kendrick from Providence Tarot coming to you with your Astro Weekly quick read for the third week of December. This is the card that came up for everyone, and as we are in a mutable season of Sagittarius, a mutable card came up. Sagittarius squares this card, right, or this energy, as it's the Knight of Discs, and this is mutable Earth. All of the Knights are fire and the element that they represent, so the Knight of Discs would be a fiery version of a Virgo, okay? And then it's also 1/3 the sign that comes before it, so it's like the Leo energy. So that's where it gets the fire from, okay? And then this is talking about process. This is also talking about creativity as well as patience, right? So this is kind of like a desire nature or some need for satisfaction that sort of like burns deeply, right? And it's almost like you're getting satisfaction out of what it is that you are building, producing, getting, making, providing. And I'm getting a sense that something is being provided, right? So there's some element of proof. And that's what the gourmet chef is talking about, the proof of something. You know, we're looking at food here, and the proof is usually in the pudding, right? So it's almost kind of like the work speaks for itself, the quality speaks for itself, everything speaks for itself. So you know that if you just continue to stay diligent, be efficient, you know, work within your integrity, then you will be able to achieve the results that you want to achieve, and then you'll be able to take it a step further as well, right? Because then you'll be able to achieve something for yourself and for other people. And that's talking about what you give, right? And it is a season of giving, okay? But also make sure that you're also giving back to yourself, you know? Also, don't be too critical about things right now. You kind of have to let things flow as they will. There's only so much you can do after you have you've cultivated something, you've built something, or you set something into action, or you've said, you know, plans that have been set in place have been put into action. There's almost only so much that you can do once those plans have been put into action and you've come up with a final product, right? So some of you are awaiting a final product, right? This could be some kind of money. This could be some kind of like movement, literally, right? Because esoterically, the moon rules Virgo, and the moon is talking about home. It's talking about necessity, right? It's also talking about, you know, making sure that you keep your essence about you, right? Even in this transient energy of moving forward, because this is moving forward, but it's moving forward slowly, right? For progress. Something is being seasoned. Something is being reduced, right? Just like when you cook things, they reduce down, so it's of more substance. There's more flavor. You know what I mean? There's more richness here. So this is what we are awaiting. We are awaiting, you know, richness. And it's coming, but it's coming kind of slowly. You know what I mean? But it's like, what is all of the work and all of the planning, and what are your habits, and how are you giving back and adding to what you know and what you feel, right? Being that it's related to the moon and Mercury, what your perception is, right? And the sun, which is what you are, what you can do. So we're thinking about what we can do, right? Doing what we can to make those things happen, right? Trying to stay within our purpose. Yes? All right. That's for everybody for this week. I'm going to get to the individual signs next. If you'd like a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com, and you can follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot. And my personal account is NYC Kendrick. Like, share, and subscribe. And comment. Aries, your card for the third week of December from the Urban Tarot is the Seven of Wands. And this is Mars in Leo. Mars is talking about will, and so is Leo. So this is a very strong-willed card. It's talking about choices and decisions and what you have determined, right? So this is determination. You're determined to move forward with something, right? With this valor, okay? So there's a sense of pride here with you moving forward with something. It could have to do with work. It could have to do with, you know, how you're relating to an experience that might be enriching, you know, your life. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you're putting a lot of energy and a lot of effort into something because you feel like it's going to get you somewhere, right? And also the sevens are related to the Chariot. So there's something that you're learning here within this experience. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you feel passionately about what your experience is and what you're doing, your efforts, right? How you're working. But you also are willing to learn from this. You know what I mean? It's almost kind of like you're doing everything that you feel like you can do. You know what I mean? And you're trying to protect what you have done, right? Because the sevens are related to Cancer, and Cancer is, you know, the protector, you know. You're also being very impulsive, okay? So just also be aware, try to be more aware of your impulsive nature, because you yourself are impulsive. This energy of the seven does oppose you, so you could be experiencing some level of opposition at some point moving forward. This could be with someone that you're in business with or a relationship, you know. It could be opposition within a relationship, or there could just be some changes that are happening, as this is a seven and it's related to the Chariot, right? That you just might be feeling like are testing you, right? So you might just have to show up. You might have to take responsibility for something, or you might have to take a leadership role or take action in some kind of way. You might even just be feeling like you have a lot of responsibilities, because the seventh house do talk about your responsibilities and how you relate to those responsibilities. You know, you could be feeling like you have a great purpose. And you actually might be feeling kind of stubborn in a way in terms of something that you're doing that is related to your creativity and partnership, right? You could be coming up with things to do with someone or some people, because it is a seven, or you could just kind of be trying to figure out where to go, how to do something within a relationship, right? The sevens are also talking about you trying to, you're getting pleasure out of this role that you're playing in this I don't know, this passionate energy that you're working with. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're passionate about something, it's challenging, but you're getting pleasure out of the challenge, right? Does that make sense? Thank you, Aries. Hi, Taurus. This is Kendrick coming to you with your Astro Weekly Quick Read for the week of December. Not this week of December, the third week of December. You got the Six of Swords, and this is Mercury in Aquarius. And you know, the sixes are related to Mercury, which is the Lover's card, right? And you can see that symbol of Mercury right there. So we are definitely talking about thought patterns that might be changing for you. We're also talking about, you know, rhythms in your mind, your psychological rhythm. You know, you might even be needing to do some mental health things for yourself. You know, you might even be leaving a situation that might be better for you to leave the situation. It's kind of like your perspective also has grown. You've sort of realized some things, okay? And this card is called Science because everything happens for a reason, you know what I mean? And it's talking about where you go from here. Now that you have an understanding of the nature of things, what are you going to do based on that? The sixes are also talking about your understanding of like your habits, right? So you could be changing some of your habits, right? What you might be putting into your body. You could be changing, you know, some of the ways that you might be allowing yourself to process your thoughts, right? You know, there might have been a challenging situation that some of you might have been involved in, or you might have just kind of like still felt attached to in some kind of way, but you're moving forward from that situation. This could even talk about your job for some of you guys, right? Because the sixes are the sixth house is related to your job and your daily ritual patterns and things like that. These are talking about the patterns of your mind, right? So you definitely are making moves forward, and it's going to be better for you psychologically. Mercury Mercury is about change, right? This could be some change that's happening locally, right? You might be moving, literally. Aquarius is also talking about, changing things, right? So you may have had to understand or connect with something that is usual to you or that is normal to you in a different kind of way, right? Because the sixes are definitely talking about things that you get used to, okay? But the sixes are always also talking about changing something that you have become accustomed to. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Some of you guys might even be thinking about having surgery, or some of you guys might be getting some information about your body that might require some sort of medical service, right? Or treatment, some kind of medical treatment, You might have to reimagine the way that you do something. Maybe it's walking with a cast or with a cane or with a sprained ankle or something like that. Or some of you might even be coming out of some of those things, and you could be feeling like your injury might be better now. You could be improving from that injury, right? And that's what that conflict was before you got to the Six of Swords. But yeah, this is definitely saying that things are getting better and you're starting to see some improvements, Taurus, and that's really good. It's making you feel better, and it's also making you think better in your mind and your head. Psychologically, you have to think about what that is, what that health is like too. Give back to yourself, right? Some of you need to read more. Some of you need to kind of like keep a journal, perhaps, or even see a therapist, right? This could even be for some of you out there, seeing a therapist and talking to someone about some things that you feel like you can't deal with on your own, and maybe your friends may not be able to help you with, right? Or you guys should be reaching out to those friends that you do feel comfortable with that can help you move forward with some situations or with some sort of like circumstance that might be difficult for you that you're trying to come out of. Okay? Gemini, your card for the third week of December is the Four of Wands, and this is Venus in Aries, okay? And this is a fiery card. It is completion, definitely, but it's completion that didn't come without work, without assertion, without focus, and without a little bit of conflict, right? So it's conflict and resolution, right? So it's a healthy balance of something. You might be feeling like you've finally gotten what you deserve, or you might be feeling like you've finally gotten to a place of feeling more stable, feeling more secure, right? You might even be feeling more secure within yourself and also within the things that you have done that have gotten you to this point thus far, right? The fours are definitely talking about, that emperor energy of determination. So it's your determination that has gotten you to this point of stability and feeling like you have completed, right? It's almost like life has complied with your actions, right? So you got that sense of completion. The fours are also talking about instinct. You know what I mean? You might have felt like you followed your instinct and it got you to the place where you felt like you were meant to be, right? Because the fours are related to Aries, and that is I am, and I am is to be, right? You might even be feeling like some sort of like transformation here. There's a sense of growth, definitely, with the Four of Wands, okay? And, it really is a boost in your ego. You might be feeling, right, because it's a four, the fourth house is Cancer, right, feeling good, and that is just making you feel more vitality, right? It's like you're enjoying your environment as well that you have established, right? You're also trying to, let your actions speak for themselves, right? Mercury is the esoteric ruler of Aries, right? And Venus rules Gemini, which esoterically, Venus rules Gemini, right? So if we were thinking about esoteric energy here, this is talking about the mind and how you identify with your mind and who you are, and really like believing in yourself, but also knowing yourself too, Gemini. This is also saying that like believe in yourself, know yourself, But when I say know yourself, I mean really know yourself, right? The depth of you, and also the shadow side as well. Because the 4s are related to the Emperor, and Emperor is Aries, and we're thinking the Sun, we're thinking Mars, and we're also thinking Pluto, right? Right? So even though we are very sure, and even though we are very much set, right? There are still things that we can learn and that we can appreciate from other people as well. And that is where that's the compliance, right? And that's where the real completion comes in. That makes us feel more full of life. That makes us feel like, that we're getting that missing piece that we, can use to help us kind of like determine where we are, who we are, how we fit in the world, all of those. So you're thinking about how you fit in the world. Where is your place? You know what I mean? What is your environment, right? Where are you established? That type of thing. So this is talking about establishing something that you feel secure within emotionally, right? You want to identify with something positive. Okay? Thank you, Gemini. Cancer, the Moon Dancer. Your card for the 3rd week of December is the Star card. And Cancer, I love you guys because you are so creative, right? And you feel so deeply and you're very warm-hearted. Home is where the heart is and Cancer rules the home. But then sometimes the ways that you feel, all of the many different ways that you feel, can sometimes get in the way of your confidence, right? And the Star card is talking about confidence. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, right? Because the Star card is Aquarius. But also the Star card is number 17, right? The 1 is talking about focus, belief, right? And the 7s are talking about relating. It's talking about fairness. It's talking about pleasure. It's talking about peace. And now this is talking about self-pleasure, right? And finding peace in oneself, right? And when you find peace in oneself, then that helps you better identify with your strengths, who you are, right? So then you sort of like gain this level of confidence and courage about you. And I feel like that's something that you need from this card, the Star card, believing in yourself. Also, it's kind of like understanding where you fit in your environment, and understanding that there's something that you have to bring to your environment. You know what I mean? People do take Cancer energy for granted sometimes, even though they do appreciate it, right? I understand that. And, sometimes you take yourself for granted too. So you have to sort of like reconnect, right, to yourself, right? Because maybe sometimes we've given so much of yourself to everything outside of you, right? She's outside. She's trying to get back in, you know what I mean? To comfort, right? So it's talking about getting back into the comfort that is you, right? Rebalancing your chakras, recharging, what's going to fill you up, right? Because you definitely experience the highs and the lows, even though you try to keep it calm and keep it cute, because Aquarius does try to keep it calm and keep it cute, definitely, even though they are having a lot of different thoughts, right? Because they're air. But yeah, the Star card is also just talking about appreciating yourself, appreciating where you've come, yes, and understanding that there is more that you have to give, right? Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and also Uranus, and Uranus is talking about change, right? And we're sensitive to change, so we have to be able to give ourselves those tools that are actually innate to us, right? That are available to us, that we can use to kind of like filter out all of the madness, right? That we are exposed to. okay? So that we can remember who we are without all of that extra dark energy or all extra energy that isn't ours, right? Because we pick up the energy of others. Definitely, you do that for sure, Cancer. You absorb feelings, okay? So you have to let yourself come to a place of understanding who you are again, and that comes from cleansing your spirit, right? Because the Star card is a very inspired and spiritual card, okay? That's kind of like the same thing. Inspired, spiritual. Anyway, definitely be strong. Do some meditations for sure, right? And try to just get a little bit more me time for you. You might need to detach from your everyday hustle and bustle, right? Thanks. Leo, what gives? You got your card. It's the sun, and remember, Leo, sun, moon, rising, even Venus. So now the sun card is talking about hope, inspiration, opportunity, travel, determination, transformation, belief, right? And also freedom, okay? So it's number 19, which is talking about seeing, focusing on getting somewhere. Where are we going, right? And it is a 19, which reduces to 10, which is, you know, the Wheel of Fortune, right? Anything is possible, right? Potential, okay? So you're feeling pretty good about something. Something's bringing you, you know, more energy. You're feeling full of life. This also talks about creativity. What are you doing? What are you sort of inspired to conceptualize? You know what I mean? You are feeling youthful again. There might be a new beginning in something, right? Because it is a 1 and a 9, which reduces to a 10, which is also a 1. So this is almost kind of like an ace, the sun is. You know what I mean? It's very good. And because, you know, this could even be talking about the heart. So there's something that you might be feeling passionately about within your heart or within your spirit or within your gut. You could be feeling warm-hearted, right? You could be feeling philanthropic as well, or very giving at this point or at this time, because it is related to Jupiter, and the sun is in Sagittarius right now, which Jupiter rules. Jupiter is in Capricorn. That is the 10th house. Oh my God. Excuse me. The 10th house is talking about career. It's talking about your place in the world. So you might be feeling like you're getting closer to your place in the world, and you might be seeing yourself in a new place in the world. You might be literally in a new place, right? This could be talking about traveling, going somewhere, experiencing the joy of travel, or experiencing the joy of movement. This could also be experiencing the joy of children, or this could also be experiencing the joy of animals or pets, or just very youthful energy. This is also, Leo is the energy of performance, right? Of being an actor, dancer, any kind of thing like that, you know? For sure. So this is good. Some of you might be getting some opportunities to do something creative or artistic, right? Or you might be experiencing something that brings you joy, okay? And this could just be like feeling good about life. You might even be just feeling blessed at this moment. You know what I mean? And that's something good. That's something to be thankful for, right? All right, Leo. Virgo, your card for the 3rd week of December from the Urban Tarot deck is the Dancer, which is Princess of Wands. And this is the equivalent of the Rider-Waite Page of Wands. This is change. This is, change within a process. This is change that's going to bring about a new situation that is an opportunity for growth. But this opportunity for growth comes out of a period of growth, right? This is development, right? That's taking place. You're acting on something. You could be choosing to do something again, giving something a second try, because, the princesses and the pages are ruled by the World card, right? And in this case, it's ruled by the universe. So this is talking about doing something again, right? Because Saturn wants to teach you a lesson or get you to understand something more, right? So there's more to understand, or there's more to do here. You might have more responsibilities, or there might be more to act on, right? If you want to achieve something, because this is talking about achieving something. It's talking about something that is being earned too through action, right? So you've got to apply yourself, because Saturn wants you to apply yourself more, and it might even be wanting you to apply yourself in a different way. Because although Saturn rules Capricorn, which is very much a traditionalist, Saturn also rules Aquarius, which is very much about being an eccentric, right? And changing things, and maybe being a little bit more outside the box. So you might have to think outside the box here than your usual to get what you feel like you want or deserve, or to feel like you're getting somewhere with something. You know what I mean? The level of satisfaction, or the level of reward or achievement that comes from taking risk, right? Because it is earth and fire is risky. So this is saying that you need to probably take a risk so that you can get whatever it is, whatever satisfaction, right? Because Virgo does want to get from one place to another. It's about changing things too, but it's also talking about going with what works, going with what's already very dazzling, or what's already very much proven, because Saturn goes with what's been proven, right? And putting more energy and more effort and more time and more drive into what's been working is going to bring about more things that are also going to support that, right? It is talking about the law of attraction here. You know what I mean? And this is talking about attraction. What are you attracting? What are you pulling your way? It's the allure, right? Something could be pulling you, right? And this could be something that's going to bring about more stability for you. And you're like really gung-ho about going for that thing, right? I feel like you're more determined for this. Thanks, Virgo. Libra, your card for the third week of December is the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is fire and air. Okay, so fire feeds air. This is also talking about travel and movement, right? Short distance travel, because it's Gemini. So some of you could be thinking about going a short distance, traveling, movement in some kind of way, some kind of travel. And then this is also communication about travel. This could be communication in terms of like planning. This could also just be, you feeling very spirited, right? You wanting to get your point across, trying to understand something. Even though this is Gemini, it's also 1/3 Taurus. So you are kind of like moving forward with something that's going to bring about more security. You might be on a quest for security. This is psychological security, mental security, right? Because it's kind of like feeling, better about something, or, peace of mind. You know what I mean? That's kind of what you're thinking about, right? Because Taurus likes peace of mind and knowing that it's secure, right? And Gemini is coming from a place of, security, right? So it's almost kind of like, I'm getting that you won't feel like you have freedom until, or you feel free or you feel mobile until something is set in place. You know what I mean? Because Taurus is talking about feeling secure within what you have, and Gemini is talking about feeling freedom, right, and liberation, because you do come from that place of security, right? And I think that also, you know, Gemini does rule the third house, and the third house is talking about communication. So there could be, you might be moving forward with communication in some kind of way. This could also just be related to the Gemini full moon. Maybe there's something that has come to a completion for you, right? There might be a cycle that has come full circle, because, you know, that triangle, that triangle shape on his shirt is also related to cycles, right? The threes are related to the Empress, right? And she is still connected to the High Priestess. So threes are definitely about cycles, right? 1, 2, and 3. And it's also talking about security with that 3 as well, you know? That's representative of Venus energy, of trine energy, of harmony, right? And being that the Knight of Swords is Gemini and 1/3 of Taurus, the Empress is Taurus, right? Because she's Venus. So this is talking about, you know, achieving some sort of pleasure out of you, you know, communicating. You could be receiving what you feel like you deserve just because you spoke about it, right? You felt a responsibility to speak on something or to say something, right? The Knight of Swords is also talking about, you know, just heavy communication, fast communication, communication that comes in quickly. So there could be something unexpected for you guys that actually might bring about some kind of security or some kind of meaningful gift or something that might just be coming into you, you know, because the Knight of Swords is definitely talking about something coming towards you. This could be a person, you know what I mean? A person with an air sign quality, somebody that might be very, you know, optimistic, right? Very self-assured, right? Someone who might joke a lot, be very talkative, okay? You might be feeling like you get along with this person well for some of you. All right, Libra, I'm going to leave it at that. Scorpio, your card from the Urban Tarot for the 3rd week of December is the 9 of Cups, and this is the card of happiness. This is the element of water, of course, and this is, you know, a wish card, right? So this is Jupiter in Pisces, okay? So Jupiter rules Pisces, right? And Pisces is looking for emotional security. They're also looking for, you know, interesting experience, right? And their experience has led them to want security, right? Emotional security. So it's talking about the goals, right? What are your goals? How are you going to achieve your goals, right? This is also just kind of like how you plan to achieve your goals, you know? How, if you want happiness, then how are you going to make that happen, right? What are the sacrifices that you're going to have to make to achieve happiness, right? Because sometimes happiness isn't just having everything that you always wanted. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily being happy. Because sometimes people get what they want and then they realize it's not what they wanted, right? I don't know why I'm saying that. Anyway, we're looking at religion and belief systems, and maybe you learning that like that wasn't giving you all of the answers that you need, and now you're sort of like relying on yourself to determine what it is that you want for your own happiness. You know, Neptune rules Pisces, right? And Neptune is talking about things not necessarily being clear to you. But now things might be a little bit more clear to you because the 9s are talking about, you know, discovering things. and having these epiphanies and having these, evolved experiences or these changes that occur from your own evolution, right? Throughout your experience. Okay? So what you want now may have not been what you wanted then, right? And what you always wanted may not be what you want now. Okay? And that's fine. You don't need to be too sensitive to the fact that things are changing for you. You know what I mean? And, you're fixed. So change sometimes is a little bit uncomfortable. But, esoterically, Pluto, your ruler, rules Pisces. And Pisces is the last sign. And Pluto is the last planet or dwarf planet. And you're talking about transformation and death, which is a form of completion, right? So you want to feel complete, or you feel complete, right? In this moment. And it's like this is being revealed to you now. You're like, wow, on a quest for happiness, I actually realized that I was happy. You know what I mean? Thank you, Scorpio. Happy birthday, Sagittarius. You got the Princess of Discs for the third week of December. And this card is called the Kindergarten Teacher. And let me get a closer look at this element here. This is double Earth, right? Very practical energy, very reliable energy, right? Very meaningful. So this is talking about establishing something that is meaningful and really bringing some level of, protection and nurturing to this. You realize that there's going to have to be certain restrictions placed or set in place so that things are, protected. Things don't get out of hand. This is a new opportunity for you, and this is real change. This is substantial change. This is change that you can appreciate. This is almost even kind of like graduating from one place and going to another and realizing that that's what you needed. Right? So this is appreciating what's been given to you that you've needed, that you may have not been getting from other places, right? And then the Princess of Discs, this is also talking about, this is an alchemical process almost that's happening in your life. And you're realizing that it's change that just occurs because it has to, right? And you're embracing it, okay? And you're realizing that there really isn't anything that you can do with it, because this is kind of like how time works. This is how time realizes things. Things come into form over time. Things mature over time. Things become more knowledgeable. You're becoming a little bit more wise. It's almost like you're growing, or you're seeing something grow, right? And it's almost like, oh, it's growing, and that's very cute, meaningful, very meaningful. It's beautiful as well, because Saturn rules Capricorn, but Saturn is exalted in Libra. So this is bringing about some real balance, harmony, structure, So you're definitely seeing a change in structure. Okay, Sag? This is pretty good. This is great for your birthday season, okay? Real things are happening for you, and you're very appreciative of it, right? And you're still doing the work to continue to thrive, right? There's more work to be done. You know that. There's always more work to be done. Definitely. But you're doing well, Sag, okay? Capricorn, your card for the third week of December is the Nine of Swords. And in the Urban Tarot, this card is called Cruelty. Now, the Nine of Swords is Mars in Gemini, I believe. And Mars is a planet of destruction. Gemini is the sign of the psychological process and the mind, your thoughts, your thought patterns. So your thought patterns could be getting the best of you, and you could just kind of like be going to all of these different places, right? You could be thinking the worst, you know what I mean? And when you think the worst, it kind of like that is what actually happens, you know? You might be dealing with travel. There could be some things going on with travel. This is communication and direct communication about travel, being that this is the nines, and this is related to the 9th house of Sagittarius, okay? And that is the sign that comes before you. So there's a block somehow, okay? There might be a communication block, right? You may not be getting all of the information that you might be seeking, because the 9s do talk about seeking information, you know. And Gemini is local, and the 9th house is talking about going out there, and Mars is very much local too. So you could be going very far out there in your mind about something, right? You know, this is related to the Hermit, which is number 9, and that's talking about going in and making some real critical determinations. It's like you're starting to understand things, right? But this is kind of like going way past understanding. This is like your desire to understand something more is making you come up with a false understanding of things, right? So you just may not have all of the information and you're trying to understand more about it, but it's like, you know, there isn't really much more to understand about it. You might be picking something apart, right? You might be over explaining something. You could even be using too many words, right? You know, you just might even be wanting to communicate more than you need to, that type of thing. Someone could be saying something that is cruel, or you might have said something that's cruel that you don't know, or maybe, you know, your belief systems are different, right? Because the 9th house is talking about belief systems, okay? And where you go based on where you come from, or how you believe things, or what you might understand, and how that might be different than how the world might see things, or how the world might understand things, because the 9s are talking about, you know, growth and evolutions and path, right? So this is saying, you know, the path of your mind is different because it comes from a different place, right? Just in the path of someone else's mind is different as well. You're learning that, you're understanding that, and the 9s are talking about learning as well, because Sagittarius is learning. Gemini is also learning too, but Gemini is like the younger version of learning. Gemini is the information, and Sagittarius is taking that information and applying it to go somewhere with it, right? To expand on the learning, right? So you may not be expanding on the learning right here, or you might be needing to kind of like realize what it is that you are being taught, right? You might even be fighting against something, or right. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, thanks, Cap. Aquarius, your card for the 3rd week of December from the Urban Tarot is the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Discs rather, and this card is talking about, you know, it's related to the Wealth card, which reduces back to this, right? So you might have experienced some level of satisfaction in terms of your finances or wealth, or something that you felt like you wanted or deserved, or something that you were working towards, and now you've done that work and you have achieved, or you have gotten that thing, or you have seen that thing come into form, right? This is also talking about acknowledging what it is that you have, or acknowledging what it is that you have acquired, right? Do you really understand the value in yourself too? So it's talking about self-value, Aquarius. This could be a new job for you that might be making you feel renewed, you know, and this could be the replenishment of something that might have been exhausted, right? Or might have run out. This is a new opportunity to build wealth. This is, this could be a new job, like I said before, or this could just be kind of like you traveling as well, right? You might have secured a ticket somewhere, okay? You might have been worried about that, okay? This is also talking about your responsibilities at work, right? Duties, definitely a promotion could have happened in terms of work or job, right? You might even be the boss now, okay, Aquarius? Or you might just be feeling like you are the one that are making the real decisions, okay? It's definitely also talking about acknowledging what you're capable of, right? Also seeing this is the proof of something, right? Because the Ace of Discs is the proof of what is possible, what you are capable of, right? And it's kind of like if you can think it and you can be it, and then you can see it, right? It's like it's right in front of you, I feel like you also are feeling like justified in something, like you're getting your just due, something that you've always deserved, or something that you felt like you deserved that you worked for. And I probably already said that. Yeah, this is money, this is a raise, this is new, this is freedom as well, So you might just be feeling like a new sense of financial freedom, or you might be determined to get to that place or that point of financial freedom where you're relying on yourself, and you don't have to rely on other people for your own security, right? I feel like that's wonderful, and that comes in many different ways and many different forms. Some of you might be trying to achieve some level of independence from your job or what you've always been doing thus far, from your family, right? Some of you might be living with your family, or you may have depended on your family, and now you're trying to feel independent from that, okay? And for some of you, this could even just be with, maybe you depended on someone financially, period, in a relationship perhaps, or maybe, and now you're feeling like you pulled away from that energy, and this is a new way of doing things for you, okay? Thanks, Aquarius. Pisces, this is your card for the third week of December. And this is the Ten of Pentacles. This is Mercury in Virgo. So this is a rulership card. This is a dominant card. This is a the card. And this could be talking about work, right? It's talking about changes or completions that happen at work that bring about new things or new situations, right? Because this is Virgo, so it's very situational. What are we going to do with this? This could even be talking about changes that occur within money, finances, right? Or at the actual job or place that you work. This is talking about new responsibilities, right? Or something changing. Also obligations. You might have a new obligation. Something may have changed now and you're in a different position, okay? This card also does talk about being in two different places at one time, right? So you could be working many jobs, or you could be just trying to figure out how to make, both of your jobs or all of your jobs work for you. Some of you are trying to figure out how to make your money work for you. So you could be adjusting the way that you spend money, right? I'm not a Pisces, but I have my sun in my 12th house, and that's very much Piscean energy. So I'm definitely thinking about that type of stuff too here with this card. This is also achievement, you know what I mean? And it's what you can achieve and what you can get out from your achievements, you know what I mean? It's talking about healthy work habits, healthy practices, healthy rhythms of working, It's coming full circle for some of you. So some of you might be feeling like you're gaining a wealth out of your experience of coming full circle, right? This is related to Jupiter, so this is also a feeling of luck, right? From something that comes into you, or something that is given to you, or something that has changed for you substantially, that you're going to be feeling, thankful for, because this is related to reciprocity, right? The sixth card, the Lovers, is Mercury. Mercury rules Virgo. This is Mercury in Virgo. Also, it's talking about the appreciation of oneself, Also, You know, your wealth is in your health, right? Kelly Rosano always says that. That's an astrologer on YouTube. Go watch that. Her channel. Yeah, and you can see that it's sort of like in the shape of the tree of life here too. So this is, you know, just being appreciative of everything that's around you and realize that it's there at your disposal. You know what I mean? And as soon as you can, you know, identify, recognize, acknowledge, attach yourself to what it is that is going to help, right, Virgo? Help bring you the abundance that you want, desire, that you are determined to receive. You know what I mean? It's possible. It can happen. This tells you that anything is possible. Anything can happen. And it's talking about being appreciative of the things that you do have as well. Okay?